Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today, with the true potential villain of this whole story revealed, surprise, turns out it was the local Inquisitor, we now just try to figure out what we're supposed to actually do about that. Long term, anyway. I mean, short term, we've got a bunch of other stuff we have to take care of. Lots of little bits and bobs, rumors to investigate, side quests to complete. Plus, of course, our follow-up with Heinrichs, who I have been informed was actually supposed to have killed Emelina during that final cutscene. Apparently something just went awry there. Also, we have a new bounty of goods from Danrock, so let's go ahead and grab those real quick. Then we'll just kind of start digging through all the rest of this stuff, see where we end up. Right, so first up we've got a stack of toxin grenades, no big deal, but we'll take them. We've got Death Dealer gloves, Drukhari only, so sadly just glorified cargo. And then we've got the Impenetrable Shroud, which is actually potentially useful. It grants a party-wide buff to range dodge, though the fact that it's locked to Iconoclast Fanatic means it's basically main character only, and we don't currently qualify, though we are very close. I'd say that's a potential swap-in for the Interrogator's ring, but I am on the fence with that. And then after that, we've got some stuff from the Pirates. We've got the Emergency Voxcaster. If the wearer suffers trauma, all of their allies, if possible, attack the nearest enemy. Fun, but, you know, as per usual, I don't really like to plan around the idea that my characters are going to be traumatized. Then we've got the Efficient Breacher's Armor, halfway decent medium gear, plus 15 armor versus Xenos, plus 15 parry. It's alright, but at this point we've gone heavy with most of our melee. Kibbles being the sole exception, and she's light. Then we've got the Eroding Autogun. Halfway decent autogun, which magnifies the effects of toxic damage but does not actually inflict it. Kind of a weird one. Can't say we really need that. Abyss Spinner's Gloves. Allies targeted by the wearer's abilities gain plus 20 armor pen and plus 30 crit damage for 1 round. If the ally scores a critical hit by the end of the wearer's next turn, the wearer's next attack is always a crit. Not really sure about that one, but I might toss it to Jai. I've kind of got her in a hybrid officer/pistolier build. Navy Breacher Boots. When the wearer damages at least 2 enemies with an area attack, they gain 2 action points, and the attack does not count towards their attack limit. The wearer then becomes immobilized. Which doesn't actually sound that bad, because normally you wouldn't be moving after making an attack anyway. I actually can see some potential there on someone like Cass. Her gaze attack automatically hits, so in theory that would be a free gaze attack every round. Cost 2 AP to use, immediately refunded as long as she hits at least 2 targets. Only real downside would be swapping out whatever she's currently wearing, which I think are like dodge boots. I'll have to think on that one. Anyway, then we've also got a couple of things to grab from the Navy. We've got 4 scrap containers, essentially just 400 free scrap. That'll go towards a hull upgrade. And the R50 Auspex Multiband. Pretty much a guaranteed hit, but minimal crit chance. Which feels like an upgrade to me. Crits are nice, but they're meaningless if you don't actually land hits. So I think we will go ahead and swap those out. Especially if we are still going up against Drukhari, since of course they're the ones who tend to most commonly deploy those dodge fields. That extra 8% to hit can make a difference. And you know what? Let's go ahead and get a quick look at Cassie's feet. Inappropriate. Yeah, she's got the navigator boots that grant stacking dodge bonus every time she uses a power. Which does stack pretty quick. I mean, that's like 45, 60 dodge every round. But even without that, she's still 100 plus dodge and 90 plus armor. Yeah, let's toss a bit more offense in the mix. We'll try it out for a fight or two, see how it feels. And Heinrichs, how you holding up, buddy?
Lord Captain, I thank you for your assistance with my mission. Thanks to rogue trader von Valancius, the Inquisition has stopped the enemies of humanity, even those hiding in its own ranks on this occasion. I will no longer be making any claim on your time or resources.
Heinrichs' face is frozen in an impenetrable mask, as if you were looking at a stone statue, not a living man. Yeah, that might be for the best until we figure out exactly what's going on with your boss. Just to clarify, Emelina, she's dead?
Does that surprise you? It shouldn't.
Heinrichs looks at you without blinking. Despite his icy tone, the spasms arcing across his face reveal his true state.
This is not the first time, or the last, I fear, that I will cause the death of someone close to me. There have always been reasons for it. Sometimes the reasons are dictated by duty, sometimes by my own personal volition.
And the thing she said about Calcazar?
It is dangerous information, but you are already too deeply involved. In the Inquisition, there are two main philosophies: Puritanism and radicalism. The adherents of the former are conservatives who strive to follow the letter of inquisitorial doctrine in all matters. The radicals are more pragmatic. They believe that the end often justifies the means, and they use tools that a Puritan would condemn as heretical.
Heinrichs crosses his arms and drums his fingers on his forearm.
Emelina used the powers of chaos to gain the upper hand against Xenos. I touched a cogitator built by cultists to learn its secrets. None of us is pure. Xavier. The craven-hearted say that the career of every Inquisitor ends in either death or heresy. The Lord Inquisitor has borne this burden longer than any of us. It would be naive to think that he had only ever used Puritan methods, and even more naive to suggest that such methods have in any way weakened his loyalty to the God Emperor. And that is all I will say on the subject.
Heinrich seems hesitant. He's choosing his words with extreme care. I mean, you pretty much answered my question there. Dude's basically destined for death or heresy. Or both. And you?
I will remain part of your retinue. That will not change. I will continue to accompany you until I receive orders to the contrary from the Lord Inquisitor, if ever. Who knows? Perhaps one day my journey will end like Emelina's, but that day is not today.
Heinrich's face darkens. Yeah, really starting to rethink all those clashes with the Drukhari we've had, aren't you? Considering the potential role that Calcazar played in orchestrating it all. It really does kind of recontextualize everything, doesn't it? Alright, Heinrichs. Hang in there, bud. Hey, CC. Seriously, though, it really does paint a very different picture of a lot of the events previously resolved. You know, like the fate of Kruderok, for example. That could have very easily been one of the bargaining chips he used to win the cabal of the Reaving Tempest over to his side. He may have essentially taken Theodora's secret weapon and deployed it against the Eldar Craftworld instead, which would also in turn, very much explain why she had become increasingly paranoid and volatile. Anyway, ultimately I think our goal here is to start heading back down towards Footfall. But we'll take a few detours en route. We've got some nice rumor zones to check out. Lord Captain. Vigdis's Vox-distorted voice sounds even more mechanical and detached than normal. The Lady Navigator has been waiting for you on the bridge for half a watch cycle now. You see, because of her presence, the officers... She clears her throat. I believe Lady Cassia wishes to speak about something very important. Her unease is spreading to those around her. Very ominous. Right, we haven't actually triggered her Act 4 companion quest yet, have we? We've got him for about half our guys thus far, but not for her, Kibbles, Ulfar? Maybe Pask? I mean, I guess Asclepius, but he's more of a Nomos thing. Lord Captain. Cassia clasps her hands together. You can sense an air of cold aloofness about her. We must speak. Now. Oh, we've got... Okay, this is romance subplot. Cassia takes a few anxious steps around the study, then says reservedly, I have given much thought to all that has happened, and to us. Perhaps you do indeed have feelings for me. Perhaps I have feelings for you in turn. But we... She falters. We are not meant to become something more. A time will come when my duty to House Orselia will call upon me, and you have already been summoned to do your duty to the God Emperor and your protectorate. Would it not be better, then, if we ended things now? Before it is too late. If I truly am dear to your heart, you will understand. A tense silence hangs in the air, and Cassia turns away to hide her emotions. Cassie, I know I've made a few missteps along the way, but have I done something to upset you? No, that's not it. I just... And you, of all people, you should know how genuine my feelings are. Yours as well. Please, that is not what I meant. Are you saying this because it's what you truly want, or... Cassia trembles, opens her mouth, and even moves her lips, but the words refuse to come out. I have said so already. And you believe that the only way two people could ever be together is by neglecting their responsibilities. We've gotten this far together, haven't we? It is. For me. Even though we both clearly have feelings for each other. Does it not perturb you that I'm a wretched mutant? That my own subjects see me as a monster? That your servants fear my company more than facing a mortal enemy? Cassie, I don't care what they think about you. What matters is what we think, though it saddens me to see that you think so little of yourself. I nearly killed you. You did, but, you know, as a fluid philosopher recently told me, we risk our lives every day with every breath we take, with every move we make. And yet I stand before you nonetheless. Is this all just a lark to you? No, of course not. Cassie, I'm not the best when it comes to expressing these sorts of feelings, but believe me when I say, I do believe I'm very much in love with you. Oh, Valen. Cassia looks at you with tenderness and longing, and then frowns in frustration. A familiar sensation envelops your being. The pain in your chest is suffocating, and you fall to your knees. Why can't you understand? I'm a navigator, a mutant. I'm nothing but a tool in his hands, in humanity's hands. And tools are not supposed to have feelings. Cassia sobs and rolls up one of her sleeves. From her clavicle to her elbow, the skin on her arm has grown so thin that you can see every vein, muscle, and tendon within. A new mutation, Valen. Just like that in the middle of the latest warp jump. And this body will go through even more ghastly changes in the future. I don't want you to see what I become. I don't want you to grow to loathe my hideousness. Cass, I understand your reservations, but just let me tell you why I fell in love with you. She quivers as she makes a weak attempt to slip out of your hands. If I wanted simple, shallow beauty, I could have easily found it. What first attracted me to you was not your body, but your mind. Your intellect, your curiosity, your eagerness to learn about the world around you, and your willingness to change based on the things you learned. Cassia listens in silence, her eyelashes lowered, and her head slightly bowed. A barely noticeable smile tugs at the corners of her mouth. Oh, shoot. Okay, so we have to cycle through multiple options. Best to avoid anything related to temporary physical beauty. Simply hearing your voice makes my pulse quicken. When we touch, I lose myself. Oh, wow. They are making us take multiple laps through the minefield. When I'm with you, for a fleeting moment, all my other troubles melt away. It's a rare moment of peace. I can never really trust anyone else I meet, but you wear your feelings on your sleeves. Oh, for goodness sake, come on, man. Alright, well, we've got two options, both very much rooted in the physical, but only one specifically refers to beauty. The other is possibly more mannerisms. The physical is fleeting. I fell in love with the person you are inside. Oh, thank goodness. Valen, stop. I hear you. Crimson tears stream down her cheeks, but she is smiling. and hers is a smile of joy and freedom. I can see your colors, so pure that I'm afraid I might scare them away. Only when I stand before you, fully dressed, do I feel utterly bare and defenseless. You have captured my heart, made me fall in love with you, and shown me how to love myself. I know not what the future holds for us, but I'm willing to take a risk and find out together with you, my love. Cassia covers your hand with hers, and her knees buckle treacherously. Come on, you've clearly run yourself ragged fretting about this. My chambers are right over there. You can use my bed to rest. I'll make sure no one disturbs you. Oh, Valen, that's... Cassia looks abashed, but does not withdraw her hands. That sounds wonderful. No one has ever guarded my sleep before. You will be the first. Hey, and all's well that ends well. Slightly awkward to have Jai's initials still carved into the bedpost, but you know. Space Cat. Yeah, I feel a little bit dirty about that one, but you know. That's why you come clean. Oh, wow, that... phrasing. Master of Ablutions, send for one of my companions, lest I lose myself in my thoughts. Of course, your lordship. Who would you have us summon? Oh wow, still got a fair few left. Let's say Heinrichs. He's pretty bummed out right now. He could probably use a nice distraction. Valen, is this a matter of terrible urgency, or... An exasperated expression crosses Heinrichs' face when he sees you relaxing in the water. Or did you simply call me here for your own amusement? On second thought, don't answer. I think I have assessed the situation for myself. I suppose you desire entertainment. Very well, I will give you something to occupy your time. A simple game of intellect that is often played in our conclave. I will give you a fact about my life, and you will have to discern whether it is truth or a lie. Shall we begin? I betrayed my family and caused the death of innocent people, and I was never held accountable for my actions. See, Heinrichs, this is why I don't take you places. The corners of Heinrichs' mouth twitch slightly. His hands are tense, and his breathing is quickened. The interrogator's behavior suggests that he is lying. I mean, yeah, obviously. Heinrichs is an experienced interrogator and a biomancer. This is just a trick. He is too skilled to give himself away through body language. The real trap lies in the way he phrased the rules. He wants you to think that only two answers exist. But what if there's a third option? What if his statement is both true and false? Which I guess, yeah, would apply. He told us himself he killed his aunt, but then he was very much held to account for it. I'd say that's neither a truth nor a lie, or perhaps both. You presented two vague, separate statements, but without vital context. Impressive, Valen. I once belonged to a house of Imperial Knight pilots. My younger sisters wanted a coat of arms like the ones that adorn the hulls of our mighty machines. So one day I stole a cutter and used it to remove a coat of arms from my uncle's knight. There was a scandal the next morning. someone had defaced a sacred machine inside our residence. I was soon discovered, and my uncle, kind as always, named me a traitor to the family and demanded my execution. In the end, however, I was merely reprimanded, and the guards in charge of watching the night were executed instead. I hope you have enjoyed our game together, Valen. But now I must return to my duties. Oh, so that wasn't another part of the game for me to guess at. That was just another bleak glimpse into the horror of the Imperium. Cool. Thanks for that, Heinrichs. Always a pleasure. Oh, Warhammer 40k. Why you gotta be so bleak? Alright, well, back to the grind. And it's cool. Heinrichs has been through the ringer a time or two. I guess I can't really hold it against him. He may be in a position of power, but he's just as much a victim of the setting as everyone else. Anyway, I believe we had a rumor zone just space southeast. Oh, and we had some colony stuff, I think. Yes. The Lost have now been found, which nets us the Fang of Perdition, Profit Factor, and Chemicals, as well as an empty slot, so let's go ahead and fill that. And we are going right for Xenos Intoxicant. We need that for a Tier 5 over on Viabo 6. That'll cost us some of our precious Xenotech, but will also provide ample reward, especially once we do the thing over on Viabo 6. A curious intoxicating substance has been discovered in Xenos ruins. Clandestine Magos alchemy workshops will refine and distill the substance, transforming it into pure euphoria that will delight the weary souls of aristocrats who long for new diversions. Next, we've got Dargonis, where the tired have been pleased, which bumps us up to 6 complacency. So while ultimately we will want to do all of these projects, I think for now we'll focus on this one, Bastion, which has no actual cost, it just had requirements, which, thanks to that complacency buff, we now actually meet. That'll net us a whole boatload of rewards, but perhaps most notably, Battle Mastery. 2 extra points of armor plating on our flagship. Not to be mistaken for hull, this is actual straight-up damage resistance. By declaring Dargonis the defense center of the Coronis Expanse, the rogue trader will be able to requisition foreign vessels and collect additional resources from the population. For Viabo 6, we've got our eye on this one, Palaces for the Outcasts. That's the one that requires Xenos Intoxicant. That'll bank us the +10 intelligence. And Kiava Gamma, where I've still kind of got my eye on Sky Barrier, which requires Holy Ammunition. But we are still a ways off on that one. In double-checking the numbers, we're like 17,000 points short. Also, we may just not need that Explorator rep. But I'll mull on that as we move forward. It's really going to come down to what kind of cargo we find. Explorators in Kaspalika are easy. It's the Drusian rep that's harder to come by. That said, let's go check out this anomaly. That should hopefully fill out our cargo bays a bit. Mysterious laughter, no big deal. Nice to have a benign one every once in a while. Though, to be perfectly blunt, I would have preferred a random combat encounter. And unknown anomaly. Another eldritch deity to slay, perhaps? The endless canvas of the cosmic void is interrupted by what looks like a bottomless hole. Sight cannot pierce it. No stars, no planets, no cosmic dust. There is only total darkness. The Augur team has failed to glean any information from the anomaly, and under the influence of a mysterious force, the void ship is slowly drawn to the heart of darkness. The officers on the bridge worriedly look up from their cogitators. The machine screens turn on and off chaotically, not obeying any of their operators' commands. The walls of the bridge, the crew silhouettes, and the ship's holy machines tremble and stretch out like rubber bands. Alerts of malfunctioning cogitators and maddened chronographs come in from every deck, as do reports of indescribable hallucinations gripping the crew. While the tech priests are trying to placate the machine spirits, Helmsman Ravor reports that the situation is bad. Navigational systems are barely functional, and the invisible force is getting stronger and accelerating, ceaselessly dragging the vessel into its dark bosom. There is little time, and the Lord Captain must decide. Leave the dangerous place, or give in to the force and study the anomaly from within. A few operators managed to wring a minute amount of useful information out of the archives. Such anomalies are extremely rare, randomly appearing gravitational wells which connect different points in space. Where such a well leads is impossible to predict. Oh, okay, so like a wormhole. Well, now my curiosity is piqued. And also, it autosaved when we entered the sector, so, you know. Full speed ahead? The closer the vessel gets to the hole, the faster it is pulled in. Thousands of people on every deck are gripped by panic. Their bodies are turning into thin, twisting threads, fraying and tearing into pieces, exposing veins, bones, and internal organs. Falling apart into screws, plates, and bolts, tech priests continue to offer relentless prayers to the machine spirits, but their binaric chants melt into the endless screams and cries for help. Finally, the void ship jumps into the cosmic tunnel with a torturous lurch. Edermat 2. Oh, the Recolager's plot. Okay, yeah, we've been here before. This is, I want to say this puts us just a hop or two outside of Kiava Gamma. Galactic southwest of where we just were. Rumors resolved, so I guess that was it. Just a shortcut from one sector to another. Narmer 4 to Edermat 2. Don't think we've got any reason to revisit the scavs, so let's just pop back out to the map, get a gander at where we are. Yeah, southwest. We came from over here. Narmer 4, right there. So yeah, about halfway across the map. And exactly one jump out from Cranach, which is where Kiava Gamma is. No time actually passed. That's interesting. Not really sure we'll ever have much use for that, but we'll keep it in mind. You never know. For now, though, it definitely changes our current plans. We cannot take the portal back. So I guess, we're already down here. We might as well hit up Santiel's Pride. I am pretty Drukari'd out, but, I suppose Tervantius is the sort of loose end we don't want to leave dangling. We've also got Kiava Gamma right there. I suppose we could swing by, see if anything's new. And we have these sectors. Emperor's Palm and Frozen Prince still separate from the rest of the sectors on the map. But, you know, one thing at a time. Let's hit up Nola Septum. The Voxmaster's puzzled voice distracts you from your duties. My apologies, Lord Captain, but I have just been delivered an urgent report. Cargo Bay 73G has received some unusual cargo, if one can call it that. The crew considered disposing of it, but did not dare to do so without your direct order. I suppose cargo is not quite the correct term. It is a crowd of people in worn military uniforms of the Imperium. They insist that you are their commander who saved them from Camorra. If their account is to be believed, some masked Xenos who spoke in riddles somehow managed to transport them on board. Hey, look at that. Nocturne actually came through. Maybe. Wait, are there any twists? There is one notable figure among them, a certain Sergeant Vegastus, a severely injured man armed with a worn lasgun. He has asked to send you his gratitude for saving him from the Dark City, and declared his willingness to serve under your command. And there's the Vig. What are your orders, your lordship? First, tell me, were there any sightings of this figure they spoke of? The garishly garbed Xenos who spoke in confounding couplets? Vignis falls quiet for a moment, either processing what she just heard, or making inquiries through other Vox channels. Eventually, the Vox comes to life again. No, your lordship, and I doubt that such a conspicuous character could have slipped by unnoticed. I will inform you if the crew reports seeing anyone like that. Yes, please, see that you do. But in the meantime, yes, these are indeed my men. Get them patched up and properly housed. We'll figure things out from there. Honestly, probably for the best that he didn't poke his head in. That would have just complicated things. And perhaps gotten these poor folks killed before I had a chance to weigh in. Though I will say, this does buy him some leeway. He actually played it straight. I will see to it, your lordship. I dare not disturb you any further. Short but sweet. Let's see if we've got anything new going on in Tenebris Aqua. No, looks pretty clear. Oh, let's check out our colony stuff. Xenos Intoxicant up and running. Plus 5 Surgeon kits to boot. That frees up our slot. Let's get something else going. And I think we'll do Great Fire. Territory for a new agri-complex can be gained in only one way. The way of fire. Which costs us a very modest 3 chemicals and promethium. And gets us Master of Flame. Plus 10% to Melta and Plasma weapons, though notably not fire weapons. Which is sad, because Ulfar certainly would have enjoyed that. But we do at least get to bank that plus 10% on Plasma for Pask. Oh. Dargonis is crying out for aid, Lord Captain. Riots over the interpretation of Scripture have broken out in several hives across the world. While hunting for the agents of the cult of the Final Dawn, the Ecclesiarchy clamped down on the planet's minor cults, attempting to force correct adherence to the creed upon the populace. The commoners grumble about the oppression of the minor cults, even daring to claim that the holy Ecclesiarchs have assumed the sole right to speak for the God Emperor. The Foreman clan, around which the disgruntled commoners have coalesced, are rallying crowds of workers into the streets in order to prevent the Ecclesiarchy agents from entering the sanctuaries condemned for dissolution. The enforcers and the agents of the Exsellsior have been able to curb the malcontent so far, but division grows wider by the day. The Foreman's Guild. What interest do they have in all this? A great question, Lord Captain. This group does come up in the reports from the capital world rather often. I can assume that this is due to the fact that, in their now ruined home, Scipion, they used to have a prevalent, more simplistic form of revering the Emperor. Oh, that's fun. That's a nice nod to the Act 2 colony quests. Scipion was one of the, I think it was sabotaged by agents of the Drukhari. The preachers there used to teach the Scipions the importance of hard work and of the labor collective's familial unity, but seldom the importance of order and hierarchy. They offered their congregation a form of faith that was as simple, cheap, convenient, and functional as their work clothes. And now they seem to think that the priests, who wallow in luxury, want to take this away from them. I mean, they're not wrong. That's certainly what it sounds like. Scipion was the hive that was compromised from within, right? Do we have any reason to believe that this might be something similar? Voitvir or the Drukhari? Thankfully, no, your lordship. The rabble-rousers zealously oppose heresy, fill the ranks of the planetary guard with new recruits, regularly outperform quotas, and attend prayer service. The Foreman clan has been actively involved in uncovering the underground devotees of the ruinous powers, and has discovered 2 large, successfully operating cells. Our agents are quite confident that the likelihood of them harboring agents of the Cult of the Final Dawn is far lower than in other segments of the population. Oh, well, I mean, in that case, it really sounds like we should probably just leave them be, but you know, I'm always curious to hear from the peanut gallery. Small deviancies in the creed beget large ones, and large ones beget heresy. Our faith is founded upon absolute trust in those above us, and if these people's beliefs push them toward dissent, then those beliefs have been wicked from the very beginning. But that does not necessarily make the preachers themselves wicked. Perhaps simply misguided. We could pass them into the Exsellsior's care for re-education, so that they may see the truth. And it would also guarantee their flock's obedience. Wow, Abby, you know, I'm gonna put a pin in that one, and we'll maybe circle back, but, you know, yikes. Shireen, perhaps you should stop allowing the fat cardinals and their servants to do whatever they want to your people. Rein them in. Faith in the Exalted One is not contained within ranks and titles, but within the hearts and hands of the common people. And even this can take many forms as well. Let those who shoulder the welfare of Dargonis at least choose in which manner they pray to him. Take the minor cults under your protection. And there we go, a much more reasonable suggestion. Oh, Kibble's great. Those who wish to worship him in their own way must prove their right to do so. The only help that would be proper in this situation is to provide instruction. Send one of the spinners to show how they can defend themselves. They will either take up arms and protect their faith, or bow down. Cool, so your solution is to foment religious violence. Well, I think we all know which one we're going with, but, you know, let's get a gander at our potential rewards. Abby's thing nets us 5,000 rep with the Drusians, which would be nice. As well as a Book of Minor Prayers. Blocks out Psychic and Navigator powers, but essentially makes you immune to them as well. That's... What does that scale off of? Imperial Lore. Okay, so that's pretty easy. Can't really see Valen doing that, though. And then Kibble's thing, which, of course, we're not going to do, would get Grace of Death. Party-wide crit buff, scaling off of Awareness. Which again would be useful, but again, I can't really see Val endorsing. Which really just leaves Jai's thing, so let's get a gander at that. And right off the bat, +1 complacency. As well as rep with the Fellowship, which might actually max us out. And then Patron of Cults. +15 Lore Imperium. Definitely the weakest of the bonuses, but still. The other two items are pretty useful. Also, I guess technically speaking, I don't think we actually have an Imperial Lore specialist. At the moment, it's just, I think, Cassia kind of coasting on raw Fellowship. So that extra +15 might actually be useful. Okay, yeah, I mean, I was already leaning that way anyway, so. Tell the Exsellsior to leave the minor cults be. The Foreman clan are valuable allies, which earns them some degree of leeway. At least for the time being. Your mercy will go down in the annals of Dargonis, Shireen. The common folk rejoiced at the news of their victory, scoffing at the gilded priests. They offered up a thunderous prayer for the rogue trader. Thanks to the protection of the rogue trader, the agents of the Exsellsior were forbidden from entering the chapels of the minor cults. Bastion banked, rewards collected, slot freed up, so we can now pursue... let's say Militia Navy. I'm pretty sure we just capped out pirates anyway, so let's see if we can get the Navy done next. Though ultimately, I think all three of these are well worth doing. Ooh, power armor. That's fun. Yeah, we'll lead with Militia Navy. Take some of the burden off of House Wersurian. The great freedom accorded by the Imperial Navy will allow the mustering of an impressive independent squadron, not classified as pirates. Very reasonable costs, and in exchange we get another Protectorate-wide security boost, rep with the Imperial Navy, and Triumph over the Expanse. A 1/3 cooldown on our ultimate flagship power, which we almost never use, as well as a hard cap on Warp Route Danger. All red Warp Routes become orange. And that is it? No. We need to get Palace for Outcasts going. Yeah, we just finished the prereq, so Palaces for the Outcasts. And very rich rewards, most notably that +10 intelligence, not to mention a much-needed willpower boost. The +7 profit factor is just icing. Viabo 6 is the far reach of the Expanse. Many influential people seeking refuge from the law and faith would pay well if one were to turn this world into a suitable sanctuary. Hey, long as they can abide by my rules, I'm happy to host. And then, yeah, we're still not doing that one. We need the Phlogiston more than the Adamantine. Which, I think, brings us to a good place to call it. Yeah, definitely not what I had planned today, but we had a whole bunch of random events I wasn't really expecting. Though it was nice to get some closure on some of those things, like securing our relationship with Cass. And, of course, the whole Nocturne thing. Nice to get an actual happy ending for once, you know, assuming there's no other pending twist. That said, we'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping, rework our game plan, since obviously I was not planning on ending up on this part of the map. Short term, we're definitely hitting Santiel's Pride. It's one hop out. But long term, well, I guess we could just head for Kiava Gamma and then from there reach pretty much anywhere else. But I'll get it hashed out. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Erie V23, Revenant, Alois, Arrow Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
Does that surprise you? It shouldn't.